everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Arkham City Catwoman. She's part of the collective build Solomon Grundy wave. I'm really excited for this wave, as I'm a huge fan of the Arkham franchise, and a huge Batman fan and collector, as you guys know. I got this figure at Target, picked up the entire wave today. To my surprise, the McFarlane Toy Store pre-order that I had still hasn't shipped. Usually they're really quick about getting those things out there. So let's go ahead and check out the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Catwoman, collector build Solomon Grundy. This is the second of 4 figures you need to complete him. Here she's in the package. She has her whip, collector's card, display stand, and the torso of Grundy. One side of the package, Catwoman from Arkham City. The other side simply says Catwoman. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Grundy. Here's the piece you get. Here's a checklist of all the pieces. And here's the rest of the wave. Batman, Catwoman, Ra's al Ghul, and the Penguin. So no further ado, let's open them up. And I did pick up the entire wave at Target today, and there is quite a story behind this. I'm sure all of you guys out there will appreciate the story. So when I went to the first Target, they didn't have anything. Had them punch in the number, and they told me 2 other Target stores in the nearby area that had 6. I knew that's a full case, being the entire wave and a couple of doubles. One of the Targets is about an hour away, and one was only about 10 or 15 minutes away. But before I went to that Target, I decided to give him a call. Asked the guy in the electronics section, had him punch in the DCPI. He said they had 6, and he asked me which one I wanted. I said, well, there are 4 different characters in the assortment. I would like to get all 4. He said he could only sell me 1 since the number is shared between the entire wave. I was just like, what? What do you mean? I absolutely hate this particular Target store. They have this rule that they've completely made up, saying they can only sell 1 item per collector per day. And if you guys know my channel, I like to get one of my Batman figures to open and one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. But I knew that was going to happen here, so I didn't even push that issue. I just wanted to get 1 of each of the characters. So I called there. He verified he had them, but he said that he could only sell me 1. And I said, well, they're different characters. It's not the same figure. So he didn't really say much. I drove up there, 15 minutes away, not a big deal. When I got there, I saw the guy talk to him on the phone. I said, hey, I called you on the phone. He said, okay, cool. Which one do you want? I said, well, I'd like to get all 4 of them. He said, I can only sell you 1. I said, what? That doesn't make sense. You said it's a limit of 1 item per customer per day. These are 4 different items. He said, well, the number is shared between the entire wave, so I'm only allowed to sell you 1. I said, that's not a policy. You're literally making this up right now. And honestly, he wasn't making that up, but that's a policy that he was told their store does. And I can kind of understand they don't really want to support scalpers. They don't want someone to come buy 6 of the same figure and then go sell them online. And that's not what I'm trying to do. I wasn't even trying to get 2 of them, which I would have liked. So he said he would go ask his manager. He went to the back, came back a few minutes later and said, oh, my manager said you can only have 1 of them since the number's shared. I was like, what? You really won't sell me 4 different action figures that you have right now? So I asked for the manager. He went out, got the manager. Manager came out smiling, pretty nice. I said, so, hey, I'm here to purchase these 4 items. You have them in the back. I know you do. Guy confirmed this. But he said he can only sell me 1. The guy said, yes, that's correct. The number is shared between entire wave. We can only sell you 1 of those things today. If you don't come back tomorrow, you can get another one. Come back the next day, get another one. Come back the next day, get... I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? I said, I understand if you're trying to limit me 1 item. That's fine, per character. But these are 4 different characters. They have different UPC numbers. The DCPI, which is a target internal number to represent the UPC number, is shared between the wave, because that's just the way that works. He said, yeah, I'm so sorry, but since it's shared, I can only give you 1. And I'm just like looking at him like, what? Kept my cool, didn't argue, didn't raise my voice. Simply explained, hey, I want to be able to build this character. He said, oh, is it one that has the arms and legs? Yeah, sure is. He said, oh, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll compromise. I'll sell you 2. And then you can come back tomorrow with the other 2. I'm like, why would you make me do that? I said, if you're not going to sell these to me, I'm going to have to drive 45 minutes away to go to this other Target, and I really don't want to do that. Do you really want to make me do that? And he's like, not really. So I kept pleading my case, being cool about it. Explained to him, I'm not aggressive. But I am very passionate about that I want these figures. Eventually I did win. He said he would sell me all 4. He said he'd follow up with a policy. And I told him, pretty sure that policy is an old wives' tale. It's something that's made up and definitely not an official Target policy. I do get some of these stores vary from store to store. They have their own rules. Maybe there's a bunch of aggressive collectors that come there, won't take no for an answer. And maybe that's what I am. And I told him all that stuff. So I did get my 4 figures. But I was very displeased to have to sit there for 25, 30 minutes just to plead my case, just to get the whole wave so I could have it all at once. What do you guys think? Was I being a jerk? Because I damn sure know I wasn't. Is that Target's policy? Hell no, that is not Target's policy. Only this particular Target always gives me this problem, and this happens to be the Target that always gets the figures first. So, with no further ado, let's open them up. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here she is with all of her accessories laid out. She comes with a display stand, a collector's card, and then of course, Catwoman's signature whip. But before we take a look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is Catwoman from Arkham City. The whole Arkham video game franchise is sort of a mix between Batman the Animated Series and the comics, with its own unique visual take. I love pretty much everything they did in those games. Catwoman here has the goggles up, which actually disappoints me. I really wish she had the goggles down. That would be my preferred look for her, as when she's going around Arkham City or Gotham City doing Catwoman type stuff, she's gonna have her goggles down. She'll only have them up when she's interacting with somebody like Batman. Yes, I do understand in the game she had her goggles up most of the time when we saw her, but I would have much preferred them to be down myself. I think I'm in the minority there. Drop me a line in the comments below. Let me know what you'd prefer. So let's take a look at her. Let's start with her head here. It looks pretty good. I don't know if it's sort of the skin tone of the paint. It's just a little bit soft looking. Does have some red on her cheeks. Eyes look pretty good. Looks like no side eyes nonsense going on. Red lips. The goggles up. Little cat ears up there. She's got this sort of black leather outfit. Zipper going all the way down her suit. A little bit unzipped. Give me a little sort of tease what's going on inside there. Double jointed elbows. Double jointed knees. She's got little metal pieces on her knuckles there for punching. The texture in her suit is decent. Different texturing in different areas. Pretty pleased. Biggest complaint I've seen about this figure, her diaper area, it does seem a little too big. Saw somebody on one of the forums and comment, what is in that diaper? Maybe a bunch of cat litter, I don't know. But her waist, it just gets smaller as it goes up. Doesn't quite look right. I do appreciate McFarlane doing the sort of soft diapers or whatnot. Allows for more articulation. And you know, it doesn't look half bad from the back. And just a closer look at her face and head sculpt. Looks good, but I really wish there was a goggles down variant. But instead of a goggles down variant, they gave us a gray variant. Can't imagine too many people are actually wanting that. Do not misunderstand me. I pre-ordered 2 of them because I'm just nuts like that. Now let's check out her accessories, and let's start with the boring stuff. As usual, here's her display stand. Typical McFarlane stand. Black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. It's got 1 peg for the peg holes on her feet. Very thin, very basic. Now let's look at her collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Catwoman from Arkham City. She's got her whip held behind her head. Catwoman from Batman Arkham City. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Now let's look at her whip. It's done in pure black. You can see a nice little bit of sculpting detail on the handle there. And as you go forward, sculpting on the actual whip is pretty nice, simulating a little bit of rope. Got a little twist at the end there. Here's Catwoman holding and getting ready to snap her whip. Now I know it might hurt, but I think I might just let Catwoman hit me with that thing. Another accessory would have been nice if she came with would be her bolas. She had her whip, her bolas, and some little metallic sharp cap objects. Those are her only weapons, her entire inventory from the game. Here she is, holding her bolas. These came with the DC Direct Arkham City Catwoman. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and her accessories, now let's check out her height. From bottom to the top of her head, she's standing at about 6.8 inches tall, which can translate to about 17 centimeters. Now let's check out her articulation. Starting with her head here, of course, going to rotate from side to side. She can look up about that far, down about that far. Not bad. Can tilt her head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes about 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. She doesn't seem to have that typical McFarlane butterfly joint. Usually just covers with a big gap, and her gap's not too bad. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows, they go all the way in. Her wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. In her torso, she's got a ball joint, rotate around, forward and back. Another one on her waist, rotate around, forward and back. Just a little bit of a disconnect between this bottom part and her waist here. Legs, complete dozen splits, not a ball joint, but a similar type concept. Rotation is non-existent. They go forward, about that far, back, not much. Double jointed knees below that. Then our ankles here, forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock. Way better looking than those old ball joints there. And she also has toe articulation. Just a little bit there. Here's Catwoman on a rooftop overlooking Arkham City, planning her next move. And then Catwoman scaling down the side of a building with her whip. Here's Catwoman climbing upside down under a fire escape, trying to get back into her apartment. Here's Catwoman coming out of Hugo Strange's vault with a couple duffel bags full of money, just like near the end of the game. Now let's check her out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other Arkham City Catwoman figures. Here she is, next to the DC Direct Arkham City Catwoman. It's a lovely looking figure, but articulation is quite limited. DC Direct also went with the goggles up version. There's one thing that DC Direct sure made more noticeable. I'm sure you guys see what I'm looking at. And here she is, next to the Mattel version of the Arkham City Catwoman. They went with the goggles down look, which is my preferred look. You know what? Kind of curious what'll happen if I head swap these figures. Let's find out. Here's the McFarlane Arkham City Catwoman body with the Mattel goggles down head and top. The head seems to stand a little bit too high in the neck, but I really kind of like the combination here. Really wish either the goggles go up and down, or there was a different variant. I just personally prefer the goggles down, but I'll shut up about that at this point. And now, here she is next to the DC Direct Arkham Knight Catwoman. Here are all the different Arkham Catwomans Mattel, McFarlane, and DC Direct have made. There is still another McFarlane one coming out. They're making a gray variant, just like Mattel did. It's a Walmart exclusive. Now let's check her out, next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here she is, next to the rest of this Arkham City wave. Batman, Catwoman, Ra's al Ghul, and Penguin. Buy all four of these figures, and you collect to build Solomon Grundy. Yeah, disappointingly small, but still a good looking figure. Now they're making an entire set of these 5 figures in more or less black and white, gray colors based off promotional material. They're Walmart exclusives, and I'm one of those idiots that ordered 2 sets. Here she is, next to the other McFarlane Catwoman figure. This is Catwoman from The Batman. This is actually the 3rd variation, and the only screen-accurate head. Like I said, it took them 3 tries to get that Catwoman right. So technically, this is McFarlane's 4th Catwoman, and the 5th one will be the gray version of the Arkham City Catwoman. Then, we have seen this Nightfall version coming out next year, and I'm really excited for that one. And even though McFarlane gave us 3 versions, I still wanted a fully unmasked version. I want to give a big shout out to my boy Jason. Him and his wife painted this head for me and sent it off to me. Nice little trade there. Nice little collection of 4 different The Batman, Zoe Kravitz Catwoman figures. Now let's check her out, next to some other McFarlane video game figures. Here she is, next to all the figures they made from Arkham Asylum, Killer Croc, Batman, and the Joker. I'm not aware of any other plans to continue making Arkham Asylum figures. First, I think Joker, Mr. Zsasz, and Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn would be awesome by McFarlane, but I'm sure not holding my breath. And here she is, with all the Arkham City figures they've released. So far, it's just these 5 figures. My infected Joker from Arkham City has actually already shipped and should be here soon. Then, we have the 5 gray variants, so the Arkham City collection will be growing, and I sure don't think it's over. Here's Catwoman, next to the Arkham Origins figures they made. They only give us Deathstroke. His look is exactly the same in Arkham Knight. I really would like to get some more Arkham Origins figures, specifically Batman, Batman in his exosuit, Mr. Freeze, Killer Croc. There's a ton of cool stuff they could do. Then, next to the Arkham Knight figures, we've got Batman, the Arkham Knight, and a couple of paint variations of Red Hood and Scarecrow. Looking forward to getting the regular versions of Red Hood and Scarecrow. They're also on the way from the McFarlane toy store. Here she is, with McFarlane's Injustice 2 figures. We have Dr. Fate, Gorilla Grodd, Batman, Green Arrow, Flash, and Reverse Flash. And I don't think they're done with Injustice figures. We definitely have seen a leaked Supergirl as well. Then, next to McFarlane's Mortal Kombat 11 DC figures, we have the Batman Who Laughs and Joker. Here she is, next to the Gotham Knights figures. We have the team of the Bat family members. The game's about to come out in just a few days. I really hope they give us some more figures, mainly a Talon, and a Clayface. Now stick around. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Catwoman is part of the Arkham City Collect-to-Build Solomon Grundy wave. Here she is next to the next Build-A-Figure wave. This is the Speed Metal Collect-to-Build The Darkest Night wave. And here she is next to the third wave of Page Punchers. This is a Flash-themed wave. We've got Atom, Flash, Gorilla Grodd, Heatwave, and Captain Cold. A lot of first-timers in the McFarlane DC Multiverse line. Then, next to the second wave of Page Punchers, this is based off Injustice 2. We have Batman and Green Arrow. And now, next to the first wave of Page Punchers, this is a Black Adam-themed wave. We've got Batman, Superman, Constantine, and Black Adam. Here's Catwoman, next to the recently released Amazon-exclusive Batman Family 5-pack. And here she is, next to the Target-exclusive Ocean Master and 30th Anniversary Batman from Batman Animated Series. And here she is, next to some more recently released Target-exclusive figures. We've got Changing the Guard, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, Defiance Deathstroke, Justice League Endless Winter Wonder Woman, and the Black Adam movie Black Adam with Throne. These are all recent gold label Target exclusives. Then, next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Hush Superman and Rebirth Kid Flash. And now, next to the two most recent Mega figures, at least before Gorilla Grodd. These are Bane and Necron. Here she is, next to some recent gold label exclusive Walmart figures. We've got the Speed Metal Dark Flash, Rebirth Shazam, Nightfall, Azrael in Batman armor, and Parallax Hal Jordan. And here she is, next to the Rebirth Deathstroke and the Court of Owls Talon. Then, next to the Blue Beetle and Booster Gold 2-pack. And now, next to the Dark Knight's Metal Batrocidus and the Speeding Bullets Batman. Here she is, next to the Future State Superman, the New 52 Static, and the Infinite Frontier Scarecrow. And finally, next to the Black Adam movie wave. Pretty excited for that movie, also coming out in just a few days. Now stick around, next to some Catwoman figures from different various companies. Here she is, with all my different McFarlane Catwoman figures. Just like I said before, we have the gray variant of the Arkham City Catwoman, then there's a purple Nightfall Catwoman coming out next year. And here she is, next to all of my DC Direct and DC Collectibles Catwoman figures. I know I'm missing the Silver Age version, and that might be the only DC Direct one that I don't have. Then, next to a DST or Diamond Select Toys Gotham Selena Kyle. And now, next to a Yamato Catwoman, here's Catwoman, next to a couple of Mezco 112 Collective Catwoman figures. And here she is, next to a Soap Studios Catwoman. Then, next to all of my Mattel Catwoman figures. And now, here she is, with my Mayfix Catwoman figures. Here she is, next to the SH Figure Arts Catwoman. Then, next to a Hot Toys 112 scale Catwoman. And now, next to the older Kenner Catwoman figures. And finally, here she is next to an older Danger Girl figure. I use this for Selena Kyle. Basically Catwoman, still in her outfit with the mask off. This Danger Girl outfit is almost exactly like Catwoman's comic costume. Now let's check her out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how she fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix her with. Since she's a McFarlane toy, they're typically 7 inches tall. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check her out with some of her McFarlane Toys brothers and sisters. And as always, when comparing a female figure, I'm going to do half my figures as female and half as male. Here she is, next to some of her McFarlane Toys brothers and sisters. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale, all from different various video game properties. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, These are from non-video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here she is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here she is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, here she is, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here she is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, here she is, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here she is, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here she is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a pretty nice Catwoman figure. My only issues are going to be, yeah, the diaper piece looks a little weird, just a little too large. And I know I've beaten this dead horse with a stick, but the goggles up, I really would prefer goggles down. And I'm really curious what you guys think out there. Goggles up, goggles down, what do you guys prefer? I feel like I'm in the minority here. I think most people prefer her with the goggles up. And a little bit about this sort of paint of her flesh. It just looks kind of plasticky. Doesn't exactly look quote-unquote real. And I get that might be a dumb argument as this is an action figure. But a lot of the time in McFarlane figures, the sculpt is amazing. The paint job falls a little bit short. Her accessories are pretty cool. At least she came with her whip. Articulation is good. Pretty much everything you would expect from a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. Only thing that could be better, a little bit more thigh rotation. Sculpt and paint job are excellent. I don't see any issues there. If I were to rate this figure, teetering between 7.5 and 8, I think I'm going to give her a 7.5 out of 10. It's a very nice figure. Although I still think the Mattel one is my favorite of the Arkham City Catwoman figures, simply because her articulation's good and the goggles are down. I feel very strongly that she would have the goggles down when out and about in Arkham City or Gotham City, being Catwoman, doing Catwoman type stuff. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.